German designer Friedemann Friese is best known for the strategy game Power Grid, released in 2004. If you look at the ratings of his games on BoardGameGeek, 17 of the top 18 games as of July 2020 are Power Grid, Power Grid Deluxe, a new standalone version of the game, and various Power Grid expansions, primarily maps that let you play Power Grid in new environments. That said, I would argue that the best game to date in his catalog as of July 2020 is the Solitaire game Finished, released in 2017 by Stronghold Games in the US, by his own 2F Spiele in Germany under the name Fertig. Friese is not a stranger to Solitaire games. In 2011, he released Friday, based on the Robinson Crusoe story where you were trying to survive on a desert island. In 2019, he released Fire, which is also playable with 2 players, but I think of it primarily as a solitaire game, and I'll probably cover it on a future Solitaire Sunday. But today I want to focus on Finished, even though it's a few years old, because I think most people probably have not heard of it or considered it or thought about it, especially since it was released and then games disappear from the shelves quickly. But number one, Finished is excellent, incredible. Best design, the thing that I think will last the longest out of everything that he's created to date, because it's most accessible to the most people and they just have to be exposed to it to see how it works and hopefully get interested in it. Number two, there's an iOS version of the game that's going to be released before the end of July 2020, and that's the version that I think most people will encounter in order to discover the game, and it's got one big advantage over the physical game, which I'll talk about after I explain how the game works. Now, the concept of the game is simple. You are at work. See your monitor here, your screen. You must sort files. You have 8 rounds in which to do it. If you get all the cards sorted from 1 to 48 before those 8 rounds expire, you win. Let me show you in more detail how this works. Here are the components of Finished. You have a deck of 48 cards numbered 1 to 48. Most cards have an action depicted on them, and if you spend a candy, you see the candy icon depicted on the card, then you can take the action depicted. Some cards also give you candy, and that's how you refresh your supply. To set up for the game, you take the cards 1 to 47, shuffle them, and then place card 48 on the bottom. The game comes with 7 cups of coffee and 10 sweets. And in the easy game, for the starter game, you start with 7 cups of coffee and 7 candies in your active area and 3 candies in your reserve. Card 48 starts on the bottom of the deck. Your goal is to sort all the cards from 1 to 48. On a turn, you take 3 cards from the top of the deck and you put them in your present area. These are cards that you are working on right now, the files that you are sorting. If you want, you can sort them in order from low to high, 13, 21, 47. I get a candy whenever a card that depicts a candy shows up. And I can spend candies from my active area to activate the card. So this symbol means draw 1 card from the top of the deck and add it to what I have. And this is the only card where you can draw multiple cards. Most cards you can only draw once when you activate them. Sure, we'll just draw more, because the more you draw, the more the cards you have in your present area in order to activate them and take advantage and try to sort them and get them in the right order. So I have 6 cards right now in numerical order. It's something. It's not that much. But there are tricky things that you can do. So if I activate this card, then I take 2 cards that I'm working on right now, any 2 cards that I want, and I put them in the past. I say, okay, I'm done sorting them for now. They're just going to come down here. When you put a card in the past, the candy on it gets sent to your reserve area, and then draw 2 more cards. Oh, hey, 12, 11, 12, 27. I'm going to slide the candy up here to get out of the way for now. Let's draw a little more. 27, 26. This is pretty good. So it's getting things. So there's a benefit to getting cards in numerical order, because once you start filing cards away, they will go more quickly. And I'll demonstrate how that works. There is also a bonus if you have cards 3 or more cards in a sequence when you send them to your past. So I have only 3 candies in reserve. Let's use this power here. Show you how that works. You're going to draw 1 card, add it to your hand in whatever order you wish, and then 1 card from your row has to go back on the deck. So let's spend this card and put it back. It's extremely useful. Now I got the most of it, I think. I'm going to send all these cards to the past, and when you do so, all the cards go on the bottom except for the last 3, and they go in numerical order. So now I know I still have 48 on the bottom of my deck, but now I'm going to have 7, 11, 12, 13, 20, and 21. Okay. And so I see the cards here that are in the past. I draw 3 cards, get a candy. Here's another power. This would have been great to have last time, but I did not add a candy. So now I have 4 available. I can draw. I want to draw more. So if you use this power here, then you take the 2 cards that are at the end of the past and you bring them back into the present. And so now I can again resort them to try to get things in the right order. I have only 2 candy right now. That's not much to work with. If you run out of candy completely, then all you're doing is drawing 3 cards off the top, putting them in your present area, sorting them, but you can't use any powers. So, it'd be great to have this 26 in the middle of these 25. So actually, instead of putting these cards in numerical order, let me do them like this. I'm going to see what happens in the future when I draw things. These cards will go away. Sure. They all go to the past, and then put them on the bottom. I have these 3. Draw 3 more cards. Okay. This card lets you put, this power lets you put a card into the future. So you have the past area, the things that you've handled previously. You got the present area, things you're working on right now. You have future areas, and you can have more than one future area of things that you're going to get to down the line. Right now, I don't think I can do anything with these cards. So I'll put them away, send them off to the past. And 3 more. 19. Kind of want to get these. I'll spend these to get these 2 up here. And then this all goes away. Oh, I forgot to take a candy when 45 came up. Remembering to spend and get candies is just one of those things you need to do, and you become more familiar with it. I've gotten out of practice mostly because I've been playing online. Oh, awesome. Spend this here. These 2 cards come back. And now I have 44, 45, 46 in a row. I'll show you the benefit of what happens here. This card lets you send everything to the front of the past. Normally, you just take all the cards and you add them to the end of the line. Here you get to cut the line. Now that would be ideal, for example, if I had cards 37, 38, 39, because then I would put them all in front of 40. So I would force them to be organized in a particular manner instead of going after 40. But that is not the case here. Let me go ahead and spend my final candy because I'm going to get some more, as I will show you in a moment. Well, that's 1. And since I'm going to get candy, let me go ahead and spend this one to bring this card back, and we'll put that in place as well. I have no more candies. All the cards are sorted. These go away. When you have the 3 or more cards in numerical order that are being sent to the past, you get candies from the reserve equal to 1 fewer than the number of cards you're sending. So I have 3 cards in order. I get 2 candies. These go to the past. These cards get sorted, or sorry, get placed on the bottom. And we continue. Another candy. 4 and 6. 22. So there's not much I can do with these right now. I could send them to the front of the line. Doesn't really provide any benefit. So don't want to spend candy needlessly. 35, 37, 38. This power, which I have not talked about, lets you send cards to the future. So if I spent a candy on here, I would slide these 3 cards up. I would draw 3 more cards and I work on them. This just goes in my to-do pile, if you want to think of it that way. They're just sitting up there waiting for me, but I don't really have a reason to do that right now. This card is unique in the deck. It lets you, so if I put this here to activate the future power, and then it came back to play later, I put this card, and any candy that's been played on present or future cards gets put in the reserve. So this card is cleared, which means it can be used again. Ideally, I can show you how this works. I'm not quite sure if I'm running through an entire game right now or just want to give you the gist of how things work. Also, I'm doing this upside down, so hopefully I'm doing it all right. Let's go ahead and do this one. Put this here, put these 2 down, draw 2 more. Not great, but kind of want 9 in front of these, but right now there's no real benefit to any of it. So let's just put them under. Two. This is unique in that it's the only card that lets you draw 2 for 1 candy. You almost always want to use it, but you will usually be able to use it only once, which I'll demonstrate once we get a little further. Only 1 candy left. I could draw something else. I will, just because of the potential to use this. Nope. I get another candy. I could send these to the future. Let's do that. Let's see how that works. So these come up to the future. I draw 3 more cards. I have no candy in reserve, so whatever I draw, that's all I have to work with. Sort those. They just go down. These go underneath. These come back to the present. I have no candy. I can't do anything else at the moment. Let's just put this at the end on a long shot hope. These go here, everything goes under. Okay, and here we go. So I get 2 candies from these cards. Now we've got the 1. As in traditional Klondike Solitaire, you're going to be putting cards, you're going to file them in order from low to high. So the 1 starts the stack of you actually putting things away. I've gone through a fair portion of the deck and I have sorted only 1 card at this point. That's not great, but it's a start, and that's often how this game works. When you sort something, you immediately draw another card from the top of the deck. So you have something else to work with. Let me go ahead and draw. Oh, the coffee. That's not really what I wanted, but that's what we have right now. You can, if you have a great memory, track everything you see. And that is extremely helpful, but I do not have that ability. I have nothing else to do here. There's no other powers to activate. I got all the candy. This goes away. When you have 48, you've been doing a lot of work and you're getting kind of tired. You must drink one of the coffees that you have whenever 48 goes from the present to the past. That coffee is out of play, and that is your clock for the game. You have only so much time in your workday. The 2 is at the very end of the deck almost. So I'm going to have to go through a lot of cards before I see 2 again, but ideally I can sort other things along the way. I have 7, 11, 12. I saw those previously. I have only the 1 thing here. I've got 14 though, with 11, 12. It might be silly, but I'm going to spend this 1 candy to activate this power. these 3 go in front of the line, and then these go on the bottom, so that I have only 3 cards again. Of course, now I just lost my 3 of a kind, my 11, 12, 13. I want this here. There's no way to get this back. I get 1 candy, but alright. We'll just go ahead and put this here. Save my 1 candy. $25, $26, $27. Good. I know I'm going to get more when this goes, so I will draw and a 3. I get another candy. Alright. Let's just go ahead and do this. If I use this power to send 2 cards to the past, I would break up my straight. And so I would not gain the candy. So let me go ahead and send this down. I get 2 candies for the sequence. These go away. So the 3 is coming not too far after the 2. What else do I have to work with here? Let's draw. There's the 5. Don't want to mess that. Let's put this here. Put these down. Draw 2 more. Okay. So now these 19 is going to come after 18 because I did a little manipulation there. I have only 1 candy left. I could draw. I could do something else, but oops, this goes away, that goes away, and here. So this is one reason why I love the iOS version. You don't have to actually handle the cards this way. There's kind of enjoyment to it, just because you're manipulating things, and it's fun to do that. You get 1 candy. But there's also the memory aspect, remembering to take the candy, actually handling everything. The iOS handles all that for you. Friedemann has said that he has worn out 8 decks of cards playing this game. He plays it at least once a day. 28, 29, 32. Let's go ahead and spin 1 here. Put these in the front to get those organized. I can see what he means, because I have played the physical version only a dozen times, but I have now played the iOS version 60 times. It's pretty good. So I'll spin this to bring back these 2. Sort them this way. I have these 2, these. Not quite a sequence. But a lot of the game is organizing things for the future, building up to what's coming. Oh, 46 was not on top. Oh, I get a candy. The colors of the candy do not matter. Let's put the 46 in front as well as the 4. So activate this. And hope that next time I can get those set. Nothing much here. I have only 1 candy. And sometimes it's 35, 37, sure. Sometimes you're just flipping and there's nothing there. The sweet bowl is nearly empty. I could draw these 2 back to get them here. I could just draw, but there's not much going on at the moment. So each time you're picking up cards, you're doing a little sorting, organizing in mini chunks. And ideally you're trying to remember what you're seeing so that you can anticipate where you need to move things and what's coming next. Finished is a hardcore memory game because you have to initially remember where things are, but then of course you're changing the order of them and they will no longer be in that order. candy. There's not much here. I can just put this in the future, but why? If I remembered what was coming, I could possibly do that. And of course, I am talking the entire time, which is definitely hindering my memory abilities. So we got to the 2. The 2 immediately goes over here. I don't get a chance to use it, which I want to. And it's replaced. I get a candy. Let's go ahead and put this, draw another one. 7. Okay, 7's in front of the 10. 31, 42. There's not much here. I'll just... And now we're going to have the 48 soon. 11, 12, 14. Draw. No. Candy. Let's go ahead and activate this to put these 2 in the past. Draw 2 more. And there's the 13 that I wanted. So now I'll have the 11, 12, 13, 14 in order when I go through the deck again. However, I have only 1 candy. I could spin, draw a card, put this back on the top, but then I have nothing. I don't have anything in order. I want the card that lets you draw 2 back from the past, but I don't have that right now. But I'm getting some things. Yep, and coffee goes. One tricky part of the game, 3. So I get these candies, and then the 3 goes away. We draw a replacement. One tricky thing is, if you have the card that lets you take 2 back from the past, if you take the coffee, the 48 card back, and then you just send it to the past again, you lose another coffee. So it creates this roadblock for how you want to manipulate and draw things out. Let's spend. Wasn't there more? There was more. So I'm going to activate this, send these 2. Yep. Alright, so now I've got this. The problem is I've got 5, and 5 is going to go up here only after 4. And I remember doing something with 4, but again, I've been talking and don't remember well. I'm going to send this to the future. Alright, I've got no candy. Nothing came up. That was a bust. These go to the past. Whenever you send stuff to the past, everything but the last 3 go under the deck. This comes down again. I still have no candy. This goes to the past, and I have 3 cards in order, so I gain 2 candies. And these go under. And let's put the 5 at the back, just in case we're able to get both a 4 and an 8. Oh, which no, I had 28, 29 to go after these, but not this time. Get another candy. I'll just send them. Ship them. There you go. There's the 4. And now there's the 6. That's going to be very close behind the 5. I'll just send this out. Okay. I don't know if you're seeing the appeal based on what I'm doing here, but there's a lot of stuff. Oh, I drew those 3. And remember, if you recall, I had put the 46 and then had the 44, 45. These 3 came up, and so now I can put them in order. What's more, I know the next card is 47, and then I can draw more cards to work on organizing them. I can actually pull back these 2 and get them in order. Let's draw one more. 35. Okay. Eventually you run out of camera space, and you do that on the iOS too. I play only on the phone, not on the iPad, and the phone can have about 12, 13 cards, and then you're pushing at the borders there, and you do it somewhat regularly. These all go to the past. I've got 4 cards in order, so I get 3 candy. And then these all go. Now, one thing that's different from the physical game and the iOS game is the iOS game has scoring. Each card you put over into your finished pile is worth 10 points. If you finish everything, that's a bonus of 200. So that's immediately 680 points. And anytime you have a sequence, in addition to getting candy, you get 1 point for each extra card beyond the first. So you were rewarded for having long sequences and sending them to the past. That is what you want to do. You also get 50 points for each extra coffee that you have not spent, and 5 points for each candy that is in your reserve. So coffee is the most valuable. That's what you want to preserve above all. So ideally you can start pushing the 48 out in order to let's send those out. And draw. And got only 1 candy. There's nothing here that's really going to help that much. And I keep laying these down in the wrong order when I draw them off the top. These are coming after those, which is kind of a bummer. Let me not spend my last candy on doing anything. All right, were you paying attention? 15, 16. Don't I have other ones there? The problem is I can't draw them. I don't want to ship these to the future and have other things 17, 18 come after. I could spend this to draw 2 additional cards, but why? Oh, I forgot to get a candy. Hazards. All right, 7, 10 in front of 15. Let's just push these into the front. And the better you are at memory, the better you will be at this game, because you can keep track of what's going where, when. I want the 42 after this, but I want the 11 after the 10, which is there. So spend the candy, ship this on. I could draw, but 12, 13, 14. Oh, now I really want them there, but forget it. It's not there. I'll just send them to the past. I get 2 candies because I have 3 things in order. Unfortunately, the 15, 16. However, if I remember in the future, when the cards come up again, you don't know exactly what order they're going to be in. Which 3 are you getting? Is it going to be these 3 again, or will it be these 3 or these 3? How are they going to come up? But ideally, I can remember that the 16, I need to use this power so I can shift it after these. That's the hope. And again, the more that you play, especially when you're not talking and trying to track everything, the better you are at remembering the orders of things. Oh, getting candy? Go ahead and spend it. Another candy. But now there's nothing to do. Coffee goes. This goes. All right, I've spent 3 coffees and I've only gotten to 4. That's kind of sad. But at a certain point, I do not want to pull these back because of the coffee mug. I don't really want to push anything in the future. At a certain point, things start to really get activated going quickly. Let's go ahead and draw one. I cannot remember what's there. 5, immediately draw a replacement. Get a candy. And now I've got 4 in a row. I do not remember what's next, again, because I've been talking so much. But I get 3 candies for that going over. Six. So get a candy, goes away, draw a replacement. And if I remember correctly, there's a 22, 23, 24 coming here, which is too bad because I want them before this. I need to use the 26 next time in order to push it ahead of these. Not ideal. I want to draw, but I get a 23 and then 29 goes on top, or 32 goes on top. It doesn't really help. So what I can do, I'll do this and I'll push the 22 in the future. Okay. So this one card is in the future. These go to the past. You slip cards under until you have 3. And now you draw 3 cards from the top. And then it's joined by this card that was sent out from the future. Oh geez. And nothing's in the order that I thought it was. That's too bad. But such is life sometimes. Alright, let's spin one of this. Draw a card. 44. And then I'll put one on top. Because I do not remember what's coming here. I can pull 2 back from the past, but that gives me no benefit. It doesn't give me a sequence or anything that I'm working with. Pushing these to the future, I don't know why. Let me just keep my candy reserve. I'll get the 22 back that I had before. 45, 46. I know what's coming here. I get a candy. Spend it for 47. That's right. That was the 44. Okay, 23. Spend one more. 9. And I forgot what the 45 to draw. At least I think I did. Alright, let's go ahead and draw off that. 30. Excellent. So now I can draw 2 cards back. And start running out of room. I can draw this 1 card back as well. Even though there's only 1 card there, I can still do it. I've got these 4 in order. That's pretty good. Let me just go ahead, draw this back. Let's the 39 here. And last candy. I know I'm going to get more from this sequence. Let's spin the last candy on the 17. So then I'll draw 2 more cards. And look at this. Now I've got 4 here. I've got 4 here. I got a couple of other things. There's no more candy that came up. There's nothing else to work with. But all this goes away. But then this 4 card sequence gives me 3. This 4 card sequence gives me another 3. And then all this goes underneath. Alright, ideally this time I can remember what follows 44. Look at that. Whole bunch of stuff all at once. Lots of things in order. I'm still only up to 6. That's not great. Let's draw. Oh, 7 goes away. 10 goes a candy. And I really don't want the 10 here. So let's use this to draw. What is it? It's not that high. But and then we'll put the 10 back on top. So we'll try to push the 10 a little further down, and ideally the 8 and 9 can come past it and go onto the pile, and then the 10 will follow right after that. If I use this again, of course, I just draw the 10, which I don't want to do. I don't necessarily want to push these in the future. Let's just ship this. So I get the 10, which means I get the candy again. 11, 31. Draw. Alright. Let's use this to send these 2. to the past and draw 2 more. 15, 16. And then let's send this to the future. Hey, there we go. That's right. I wanted to send the 16 to the future in order to get the 14. And unfortunately, now the 12 and 13 are going to come before the 10 and 11. That is not ideal. I know the 14 is next. I want it to, I can use this power to draw the 14 and put the 41 back on top, but then I've got 12, 13, 14 coming before 10 and 11. Let me instead spend this to push the 12 into the future. I don't remember why that's there. Oh, because I sent 2 cards to the past. And I've got these 2, which is a bummer. But so be it. These come down. These drop down here. The future becomes the present. I've spent everything I can. I've got 3 cards in order, so I get 2. And then these go here, and I have to remember the 13 is unfortunately ahead of the other things. Let's see what else I get. 14. Oh, I got 2 candy off this that I forgot about. Draw again. That stinks. Coffee to the past. All right. 4 coffees and I'm only at 7. 8 goes. 25. I can't draw anything back. Don't care about pushing that future. Does this matter if I push those there and draw 2 more? Yes, because now I have a sequence in play. Now I have a slightly longer sequence with a candy off that. 4 cards here. I do not recall what's coming. I believe it's higher ones. I'll just push this to the past, get 3 candies off the sequence. Yeah, so drawing more cards or pushing this into the future wouldn't help, because then I'd be putting lower cards after higher ones. Let me just shift these on. These are sort of in the right order, even though there's some gaps. 9 goes away. Draw 1. Yeah, 17 goes on top. Then activate this. Put those in that order. And then I got the 17, but I don't remember what's coming again. Let's just ship it. Not good. All right, we know what's coming after this. Let's go ahead and spend the candy here, draw back 2, and now I've got those 4 cards in a row. And now I'll just let them go, and I get 3 candy out of it. Get 1 more, and then just start. $47's the power card that just lets you put lots of things in order. Got 1 more. Draw. Move this here. lots of stuff here, but can put something back. Got 3 in order. These 2 sort of here. I don't really care about pushing them to the future because I kind of, because I don't remember what's there. Let's just get 2 off this sequence. Hey, now my son is coming in the room. I am filming, you know. The 10 comes up, 11 comes up, 12 comes up, 13 comes up, and I know the 14 is coming after this. So, let me push this in the future. Get a candy. 14 goes away, draw a card. Another candy. There's not much I can do with that. I'll go ahead and draw. I should have remembered. And I can't do a thing about that because there's nothing else to activate here. Poor planning. Alright. 36:48. Remember that this time, Eric. But 15 comes over. 16 comes over. And I have no idea where the 17 is. And I can't draw that back. And I don't really want to. If I push 2 over, I have to push that 19 anyway. Or push the 18, 19. It defeats the purpose of going. What is there? I do not remember. Let's just go. Alright, we know what this is. 28 is next. I know I get a candy. I just want to keep everything in order right now. I got a sequence of 4. That's great, but I only have 2 candy in reserve, but I get those 2. Oh, sorry, this one goes away, and then I get 3. Candy goes away first. Alright, there's lots of things in order, but not everything. What was after this? Remember. This to draw. Now I have to put something back. I just put the 30 back because I'm goofing up here. No. Then I will do this to put these 2 down. No. Let me rephrase. Let me go back. Instead of putting the 30 back on top, we'll put the 22 back on top. Because now I can activate this, slide these 2 down here to have them all in order, draw 2 cards. Okay. And now this one is fresh again, and I could use it again if I want, because it was, the candy was cleared from it when it went away. Which I don't remember. What's there? Now I have to put something on top. Sure. Boo. Boo, Eric. Alright, 17. These roughly the right order? I think things are okay after this. I can again spin this to draw those 2 back. and then have 4 in a row and ship those to get 3 candy. Yes, the candy engine's pretty good. I have only 3 coffees. This 24 is in completely the wrong place. 31 and 33 are actually following all the 30s. That's not ideal. So these are here. Let's put all these at the front of the line. I don't want 42 after all those, but I'll move those lower 30s up. The candy. And now let's go ahead and draw, because I know 47's coming. Draw. And instead of drawing the 47, draw the 20, because I think there's some lower stuff coming. Draw. Oh, that's right. Gosh darn. Only 3 coffees left. I want to draw. I can draw, put the 48 back on top, and push it down the line a little. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, 18. 19. Draw a replacement. And now the 20 goes. 21 goes. And this is where you really start having the engine happen. Unfortunately, I've gone off the screen as I get enthusiastic about what I'm doing here. Alright. 25 and 26. There's all I need. I need 22, 23, 24, sort of in this vein. I think it's coming. Let's just shift everything in the future, because I'm not sure. Okay, that was not great. I get this. I know the 30 is next. So let's draw. Get 30. Let's push these 2 here. No, let's not push those 2 here. Let's instead just push all those to the front of the line. And there are 4 cards in a row. So unfortunately now, I got all the 27 and everything after the 25. However, let's activate this and send these 2 and draw 2 more. And there we go. 22, draw, 23, draw. Still no 24. But we can send things into the future once again. 24. Draw a replacement. Look at this. I am totally a mess with the order of my row. But you see I got this massive thing in the future. I might stack up to 24 now. I got, once this goes back to the present, 25 and 26 will go. Let me just go ahead and spin this to get something else, ideally somewhat in order. And draw 1 more. Let's put the 38 on top, I think. Alright, these go here. Lots of stuff goes underneath. This slides down to the present. Everything is still marked as it was, but 25 now goes on the pile. Draw a replacement. 26 goes, draw a replacement. The main thing is, ideally you just don't want this 48 to go to the past. The more you can avoid that, the more coffee you have left. Now you can play higher level games where you start with fewer candy in your active reserve, or fewer coffee, with the hardest one being 5 coffee and only 5 candy to start with, which requires a lot more memory in order to get everything correct. And if I've been tracking the relatively few cards here, I might have an idea of what's actually here. We got the 32 that I want to come before these. Oh, I have no more candy. I can do nothing. I have 4 cards in a row, so I'm going to end up with 3 candy. And all this goes in the bottom, starting here. I lose another coffee. But this is swimming along fine. Oh, 26, 27, 28. 27, 28, 29, so all 3 of them will go over, draw 3 new cards. 30 goes over, draw a new card. I do not want to bring those back, so we'll just push them. 31 goes. I can't remember where 32 is. Oh, wrong spot. Something goes on the top. Fine. Want this. Let's put the 33 on top. Not ideal. Now I can just draw it again, which I will, because now I can use it again, or just send these 2 to the past to draw 2 replacements. And now we get 32, 33. And this is what we want, but we're not. It's going to take a little while to get there. But if you're paying attention, then you know what these cards are. 45, 46, 47, 48. That's what's there. I only have 1. I'm getting no candy. Nothing's in order enough to do anything with it. I really need that one, but alright, push it out. So this is all going to work, but if I were doing this online, it would not be a great score, I will say. So I get 1. I know the 48 is there. I don't really want the 48 right now. I only have 2 candies. I'll push this to the past. I'll get 2 more. So I got 39, 40. I can push 48 to the future, or draw something and then put this back. I think I'll just do that and push this to the past. So now you draw 3 cards. You get 36, 37, here, I can activate this one to bring back 39 and 40, and at that point, everything just goes. Because I'll put on those, and these all come in. There we go. 2 coffee left. 2 of these. 1 more candy off the top of there. That's my final. Done. Finished! Yes, I played through the entire game, something I did not initially anticipate doing. I thought I'd go through to the first, maybe the second coffee break, but honestly, I just love this game. I love card games in general, and I especially love card combo games, and that's what this is, because you get to use all the powers to manipulate things, and you got to see almost everything in play with that playthrough, except the 37, the one that lets you remove candies from cards that have already been used so that you can use them again. 37 is often extremely helpful when you have a long string of cards, or you've got cards where you want to move them to the future, draw something else off the top of the deck, put that in the past, 37 comes down, use that, put those cards in the future again, and then other cards cycle through. Because you're playing with a deck of cards, but you don't want to think of it as a stack from beginning to end. You have to think of it as a circle, because that's what you're doing. You are cycling through all the cards, and you are manipulating pieces of that circle in order to get them to the right place. So ideally, cards flow out in the right order, and you get through everything before your coffee runs out. So you get to see that, and it's kind of interesting because I think I had 3 or possibly 4 coffees over there, and I was only at 7, and things just started shifting and shifting, and then it just whooshes to the end. It's fantastically good, and if you were not playing on camera and trying to talk through the entire time, you will probably do much better at actually remembering where things are and not making mistakes where you put something back and then you draw it, or you're just... As you're drawing something, if you know the next card is already in order, of course, maybe you want to draw it if you're going to get candies off having a sequence, but if it's like 27, 28, 29, 31, there's no benefit to drawing that 31 because you're not changing anything, you're not moving the order around, and again, you remember that much more when you are actually focusing and not talking. So let me talk a little bit about the app. This is by Eric Snyder. It's supposed to be out by the end of July 2020. In Europe first and North America a week later, something like that. Not sure about the state of Android. I don't have an Android. I don't normally write about digital games. I don't normally play digital games, but I do puzzles on my phone. And Finished is a game, not a puzzle. The difference is that you have a randomized deck. You cannot do the exact same things in order to solve it, unlike a lot of the Think Fun or Smart Games or the Blockers Puzzle or other things that I've done videos on in the past. They are the same each time you do them. Finished is not. You are going to get a randomized order of cards, and it's going to be a different challenge every time you play. Now, you can play on here. There's got a daily challenge, so you can play the same thing as everyone else if you want. I believe there'll be a way to compare your score against other people. So you have a daily challenge and you'll see how well people do on the daily challenge. You can just play a random assortment of cards. You can play a specific number if you want to go through the cards in order or sort of the deck arrangements. I don't know how many tens, hundreds, millions there are. You can keep statistics. So you can see here I've played 61 games and won just over 50%. 20 minutes or so per game, so that's 20 hours of playing Finished so far. It's so good on the phone or iPad if you have the iPad as well. You can see this one weird game, 169 candies. There was a lot of manipulation, a lot of sequences, and yet I had to use all those candy all the time in order to actually get things done. You got a win streak there, you can keep track of that. And your score, my score is definitely below the average winning game, but that's because when you lose, often you lose hard. With you maybe completing 13, 14 cards, and then you get 130 points. So that will really tank your average until you win on a regular basis, which I am not doing yet. I believe there'll be ways to set up challenges so that you can start with fewer coffees or fewer candies, just to make a harder challenge for yourself. I saw Freedom in talking about that, but I don't know whether that's in place yet. Now, interesting thing that I can't show here, I'd have to go through an entire game. I accidentally hit the reset to move on here. But when you finish a game, if you lose, at the bottom there'll be an option to try again, which is fantastic because you cannot do that with the physical game except if you are going to go through and write down the order of the cards as they come up, which is a real tedious step, and I can't imagine anyone would actually want to do that. But with the app, you can try again with the exact same deck that you just played. So not only do you have a memory game, right, because you're trying to remember the order of the cards in order to know that, oh, I got to manipulate this and move this around, and I got to push the 5 back so that ideally the 4 will come first, and then the 5 will go onto the finish pile, and the 6 will follow that, rather than having to cycle through the deck one more time. But you can do it again with the memory coming into play the first time through the deck. And it's great. I've had certain decks where I have failed 3 times in a row, and then I finally figured out how to win that deck. So it's adding this meta memory almost, because, or this pre-memory of how you played before and how you manipulated things, and you said, okay, well, I remember in the past I got these certain things in order and that sort of fit well, but I had this thing, one game in particular just drove me crazy, where I had it was like 8, 10, 12, 16, 18, 20. So I had all these even numbers, and the odds were scattered on roughly the opposite side of the circle. So if I were just going to go through the deck like normal, I'd get the 8, and then I get the 9, and then I get the 10, and I get this, and I get this, and I'm going to run out of coffee before I get anywhere. So knowing that the deck was sort of set up in that way, I had to really figure out how to manipulate things to get just a few odd cards around and push some even cards, and then sort of manipulate everything and have it all just work better in order to actually finish everything in time. And as you get better, you definitely have cases where you go through, it looks very hopeless, you're getting down, you've got no coffee left, if that 48 goes, and yet the deck is engineered so that if you have some idea of what you're doing and you've set up sequences and you get sort of a regular stream of candy, often you can just push that 48 out, or draw something and put the 48 back, or just do something so that that 48 just sort of keeps at bay. It's like you're saying, no death, go away. Not today, death. I'm good. I think I've seen that somewhere. Yeah. Finished is so good. It's so good. It is an incredibly good challenge mentally, trying to work through everything here, and having it on the phone is just, it's great because I don't have to worry. I've played this on planes where you're trying to manipulate things, and often it's hard to fit the cards on the tray, and you got to worry about the candy, so you play with the box open so that I don't have the candy slide around on the floor. We got the guy working here. But now on the phone you can just play through, and then you can play again if you fail, and that's so good. And now I'm just repeating myself. I'm just rambling because this is the best. Friedemann, thank you so much for creating this game. And as I mentioned before, he's worn out decks repeatedly from playing it every day. And I've gone through this now where I've been the trial version. What's the last thing I want to mention? Trial version that'll be out, and then at the bottom here, this restore purchases, remove ads. As soon as this is live, Eric Snyder's getting my $5 because this is completely worth it. The ads are minimal. They don't last that long. You get an ad after each coffee goes through, and it's fairly quick, and you can click away, but the thing is, it's worth the $5. So thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed seeing this playthrough finished, and you can try it yourself. Hopefully I'll see you on the scoreboards, and you can try to beat me.